Your digestive system is one of the most intelligent, brilliant, and most important systems in the human body. And we need to understand why. It even has its own second brain. Up till now, we all think that we have just one brain in our head, but did you know that there's another brain in your gut, and it's called the ENS, that's called the enteric nervous system. Now that's a second brain which is constantly communicating with the brain in your head. And that's what signals hunger and cravings, and the brain keeps sending signals to the digestive system to assimilate, to break down carbohydrates, proteins, fats, amino acids. It facilitates the absorption of all the nutrients from the food that we eat into almost 30 to 50 trillion cells in the human body. Now, without the digestive system, we have absolutely no life. We can keep on eating organic foods and supplements and superfoods and vegetables and be vegan and cut out non-veg and all of that stuff. It doesn't matter if our digestive system is not functioning the right way. The digestive system has this one important function of breaking down all the energy we put in our body into the right form and getting it absorbed into all of these cells, which then sustain life, immunity, health, weight loss, our skin, our hair. But today, one of the most common problems across the world, and when you look at the US market and the Indian market, the highest consumers of antacids, the highest consumers of medications that help with digestion, indigestion, constipation, and then we have acid reflux, bloating, flatulence, and all of these issues, which is further translating into more serious diseases like pancreatic cancer, colorectal cancers, colon cancer, stomach cancers, and all of these things. Because if we don't have the right digestion and we don't have the right elimination, simply we have disease. There's no two ways about it. So there are 6 powerful lifestyle changes today, and we're not going to talk about food. These are pure lifestyle changes. We've done videos again. We all know that foods that we should avoid and foods that we should eat to improve digestion. We all know about probiotics. That's become a whole fad on its own. We need probiotics, no doubt about it. But just because you have indigestion or you're constipated or you have acidity, it doesn't mean you go popping probiotics without getting to the root cause of why you have digestive problems in the first place. So we don't just bash allopathy all the time and say, oh yeah, just don't take a medicine to treat a symptom, it's causing another problem. It's with nutrition as well. People just pop supplements and people are constantly eating kefir and kombucha and all these probiotics. The whole idea is we should understand if we need so many probiotics, why do we need it? Because there's something wrong with our digestive system. So whether it's allopathy or whether it's nutrition and lifestyle, we need to get to the root cause of our problem and address that. So today we're not talking about food, we're not talking about probiotics, because we have all of that and yet people have digestive issues, acidity, bloating, flatulence, and all of these issues. And we need to understand that if we have any one of these, be it bloating, be it acidity, be it flatulence, be it belching after your meals, they are symptoms of your body trying to do the right thing at the right time. Your body is telling you that your digestive system is not functioning well. And we don't just take a probiotic or an antacid to, have a band-aid approach and remove that symptom for a while. We need to get into our lifestyles that are causing these problems. So let's dive right into it. 6 lifestyle changes today that are not based on your food, that are not based on exercise, that can help you to overcome this. And before you run off to pop your next antacid or do a colonoscopy or endoscopy or any of that, it's good when you need it, but not without correcting your lifestyle first. So the first change, sit when you eat. So many of us are on the go, eating that fruit, drinking our smoothie, drinking our juice, standing up and eating, driving in a car and eating. The first change is sit while you eat. It is so important because when you're on the go, you are in the sympathetic nervous system. That means you are in fight and flight. You are not in rest and digest, which is the sympathetic nervous system. You need to understand that food will best be digested when its system is in the rest and digest mode, which is the parasympathetic nervous system. You can never be in the parasympathetic nervous system when you are walking, even if it's a walk in the park or a walk in nature where you feel calm, because all the blood has to rush to your muscles and your legs and your calves to facilitate that movement. So we need to understand that the next time you're eating, even if it's a handful of nuts and you know you can just eat it while you're walking, sit down, Let your body move into the parasympathetic nervous system and then eat. Sitting down will also change the way that you breathe. The way that you breathe signals your brain and the enteric nervous system in your gut to prepare you for digestion. Which takes us to our next lifestyle tip. Before you start eating your meal, take 3 to 6 deep breaths. Inhale and exhale 6 times wherever you are. You could be at a party, a wedding, at home. Make it a habit, like you would make a prayer, a habit to thank God for the food that you eat, or bless the food that you eat, or the water that you drink. Make this a habit. Why 6 deep breaths? Because it's so easy for us to move from one thing to another, and we're still in that stress mode, or we're still in the sympathetic nervous system. But when we sit down and we take 6 or 3, even 3, if you don't have time, even take 1 deep breath, you have the capability of resetting your body and moving from sympathetic to parasympathetic, which means your digestive system gets all the signals from the brain right now that you are ready to eat. So guess what's going to happen? Saliva is going to increase, which means your digestive enzymes are going to increase, which means the right amount of stomach acid is going to increase in your stomach. A few days ago, we spoke about low stomach acid and how it can create acid reflux and digestive issues as well. So when you breathe, you send the right signals. Your body is constantly communicating. It's biochemical in nature. There is constant communication every second of the day, even while you sleep, between 50 trillion cells and all the hormones in your body. What is insulin? Insulin is a hormone again. How does insulin work? Signaling from the pancreas between your brain and whatever's happening in your body when you eat food. Everything works on signaling. So if you have the right signaling, you have the right digestion and you have great health. If you have the wrong signaling, you have poor digestion, you have poor immunity, you have the inability to lose weight, and technically nothing's working right in your body because of the wrong communication between your cells. So breathe. The third step, the most important step, which can take, I would say, at least 80% of antacids immediately and sort maybe even 90% of the digestive issues, is chewing your food and eating slowly. You have to understand that the very process of chewing your food produces saliva. Right now, even if you don't have anything in your mouth, pretend to chew. Pretend that you have a handful of nuts or a piece of fruit in your mouth and start chewing. What's getting generated? Saliva. That movement is causing saliva to be produced. And we know that saliva has lipase and amylase, which are both enzymes that start digesting carbohydrates and fat in your mouth before it even reaches your system. And when that saliva mixes with your food and passes down your esophagus into your stomach, it starts generating the right amount of stomach acid, the right amount of pepsin to break down proteins, and the right amount of enzymes to facilitate your food. But if you're eating too fast, you're sending larger chunks of food undigested into your system. Fine, your body produce more acid, all of that will happen, but you don't have the right digestive enzymes to break down the food, assimilate, and absorb. And like I said, it doesn't matter what you eat. What really matters is how you absorb and break down what you eat. So we all know people who eat salads all through the day and nuts and they're vegan and all of that stuff, and yet they're unhealthy because they have poor absorption. So it's not about what you eat, but how you eat it, how you absorb it, and how you assimilate it. So chew your food. Today, everyone try this at your next meal and see, we have a choice or we have an excuse. Everyone has an excuse. The human mind constantly makes excuses by default. Oh, I have to eat fast at work. Why do you have to eat fast at work? Is there someone sitting with a gun to your head telling you that you have to eat fast at work? Yeah, maybe certain organizations, that is the truth. But mostly, we need to make sure that it is not an excuse and it's a choice that we choose to make for ourselves. Chewing your food will change the biochemistry in your body. The fourth rule, keep away from your gadgets while you eat. Do not look at your phone, do not read blogs, do not listen to anything on your phone, do not watch television. That 15 minutes that you eat, it should be mindful. Because let's take an example. I'm eating a meal right now, but I'm reading something that is causing stress and emotional turmoil in my mind. It could be another rape case, it could be some injustice that we see in the world, it could be, war or whatever it is. And so I'm in the rest and digest, but all of a sudden I get into the sympathetic fight and flight response because of emotional turmoil, which will immediately move me from parasympathetic to sympathetic. And again, all the problems of acidity and digestion happens because we're not in the right system for eating food and digesting. So at least for 15 to 20 minutes, put your gadgets away and put that TV off. Which is why I know it's so important for parents to let their children watch TV while they eat, because that's the only time the child eats. But that's not true. You've got to break that habit. You'd rather not have your child eat than have them eat and not digest any of the nutrients at all. And there are enough of studies in science to show test groups of children who eat while watching TV, their absorption of iron and calcium is literally nil compared to the group that eats the same meal without watching TV, and their absorption of iron and calcium is almost 90% more than the other group. So again, it affects the way you assimilate and absorb nutrition. The fourth point, try not to talk while you eat. Now I know this is difficult for most of us, okay? But if you can eat mindfully, because when you talk, you're also taking in more air into your system, and the more air you take, okay, the more belching you have, the more digestive enzyme production is decreased. So more air means more bloating. It's as simple as that. Now, if you cannot do that and you have to talk, at least make sure you're not talking about anything that's stressful, that aggravates you, that makes you angry. Because the moment we have these emotional talks, we're going to move from rest and digest to fight and flight. So the most important thing is the body doesn't care what you think and what you do or what choices you make. All your body cares about is being in the right system when it's digesting food, and being in the right system when you need to run, exercise, react to a stressful situation or a person. It's constantly adapting for you to survive. So we cannot decide what we think is right for the body that challenges any of the laws of nature, which are the laws of digestion, biology, and chemistry in the human body. So I'm going to quickly recap the 6 lifestyle changes that you can make right now. Even if you're on antacids right now, I can promise you that most of you can get off them only by making these changes. And of course, there are some people who are on so much of medication and treatments that they have to be on antacids to manage the side effects of an acidic body that the medication and conventional treatment produces. So let's quickly go over these 6 points. Sit and eat. Sit and drink. If you're drinking that vegetable juice, just don't gulp it down thinking, oh, it's healthy and I'm drinking it down. Swirl it around in your mouth. You want that saliva to mix with even the healthiest foods to get in your system and activate all of your digestion. Deep breaths. 3 to 6 deep breaths before your meal, 3 to 6 deep breaths after your meal. Now, always attach it to something so that you don't forget. I like to attach my deep breathing with my prayer of thanks before my meal, and my deep breathing with my prayer of thanks after my meal. So attach it to something and it already becomes a habit. So if saying a prayer before and after your meal is already a habit, attach the breath to that and it becomes a habit as well. So you're deep breathing, chewing your food, no matter what. Forget about 32 times, even do it 10 times. But chew your food. It allows you to enjoy your food. And 2 things happen. You digest better and you eat less. When you chew every morsel on your plate, you will eat less because the signals from your stomach to your brain happen much, much faster. And all of a sudden, you're eating less. So now you multiply 3 meals in a day with 7 days in a week. And you calculate the deficit that you create by just eating a little less because you started chewing. And you will lose body fat, no doubt about that. Gadgets off while you're eating your meals, or put it away while you're eating your meals. Try not to talk. And if you must talk, avoid stressful conversations. It's that simple. These lifestyle changes don't cost you any money. It's inexpensive. It's free. It only requires you to do it. Now, what's stopping you from doing it is that obstacle and that mindset in your mind. And it's that motivation that you lack because we're too busy living life. We're too busy lost in the chaos of life, which is why we need to meditate. We need to find that 5 minutes of alone time every single day to recenter, recenter, recenter. And if we don't have that time, you can use your breath. The power of your breath to reset you works every time. Just take 3, 4, 5 deep breaths. It resets your body. It resets the biochemistry in your entire body. Have a good day, everyone. Remember, digestion is so important. It's linked with constipation. It's linked with cancers. It's linked with everything because everything starts with digestion. Food is energy of life. And if you don't have food in the right form, it doesn't matter how much money you spend on all your imported foods and organic foods and all of that stuff if you don't have the right digestive system. Have a great day, everyone.